Hey everybody, you're watching the Palmetto Outdoor Experience, and this is a little bit different video. For years, I always had bass boats and I maintained them myself. And this one here is my brother's, and his starter went out. So I'm gonna show you guys how to remove the starter, replace it. This is on a Mercury 150. It should be the same for anything from I would say a 125 to a 250. Should all be the same. First thing you guys need to do is make sure you undo the battery terminal, which I just did, and I lost the wing nut in the bottom of his boat, so I'll have to deal with that later, but at least we'll get his starter changed. So it's been about 5 years since I've done this, but I roughly remember how. So this right here is your ground strap. This is what grounds your starter to your block. Now you're going to have to remove both of them because you're going to have to put the ground strap on the new starter. But just remember, you know, keep up with your bolts. The first one is going to be a 1/2 inch. Let me just verify. 1/2 inch. No, that's not a 1/2 inch. Sorry, that one's a 1/2 inch, but I'm going to go with this one first. So, I'm going to break it loose. Okay. Make sure we put that right there. I like to put it in the back of the boat right there. And let's see if we have any more 1/2 inches we can take off. This right here is your positive side. This is where your juice comes in. So we want to put that bad boy out of, just right outside. Now, if you wouldn't have undone that battery terminal, this thing's going to want to arc out all over the boat, and you're going to short all kind of stuff out. I've done it. I have killed coil packs. I have burnt engines to the ground because I didn't pay attention. I was a lot younger back in the day, and I done stupid things. But now, you know, we pay attention to what we're doing. So before we take the starter housing bolts off, see, his main problem was the sling gear wasn't engaging. It wasn't wanting to rise. And it eventually burned his starter up because his gear was sticking, and it was wearing, you know, it was wearing the brushes out in the motor. But he bought a new one from Amazon, so we should be good. And while we wait, we hydrate. Nah, let's get this off here. And note, this stuff is aluminum, so whenever you tighten it, don't go crazy on it because it will gald up. And these are stainless steel bolts. Stainless steel bolt stretch. Really, if this was my boat, I would be putting all brand new bolts back in it. Of course, they're not tightened very tight, but stainless steel does stretch over the years. And, ooh, that felt disgusting. I'm not a big fan of steel on aluminum. I mean, I know that's what you have to do with boats anyways, just for corrosion purposes, but I'm a millwright by trade, so it just makes me feel kind of uneasy. So this right here is your main ground. You do have a ground up there. We want to make sure that we keep the power wire right here where we can, you know, we know where it goes. And this right here is got a cluster of wires. And I think that this one also has the ground for the tilt and trim on it right here. It could. Some boats do, some boats don't. I was mainly a Johnson Evinrude builder back in the day, and I'm not really used to these Mercury setups, but they're basically all the same. And I had to replace a starter and a tilt and trim motor on my last Mercury. I had a 200, I think it was an Optimax. I think. I could be wrong. The main thing, you just want to make sure that you can keep up with your wires. Now, I used to try to keep all mine zip tied, but I don't have any zip ties with me. Okay, so see how that piece comes right off there? We want to keep that there, and don't get in a hurry. Okay, so that starter is 100% removed. Hopefully the new one comes with the rubber grommets. If not, we'll pull them off and put them on this one. But while we're here, we want to just go ahead and inspect for any kind of cracks, damages, stripped out threads, clean everything up real well. You know, I mean, I could use solvent, but you know, you ain't got to do that. Just do a good looks over on everything, because I promise you, you don't want to be broke down in the middle of the lake, which I have been hundreds of damn times. And that's why I don't have a boat anymore. I just work on them. So remember, that one was my bottom one. I'm gonna put it right here in the, I don't know what you call that, the valley pin. I don't know, I can't remember. Hell, it's been so long. So there's the starter off. See how quick that was? Let's just gently put that on the ground just in case we need that later on. And right here's a new one. And what I like to do is just do an inspection to make sure that they roughly look the same. Now I can already tell you that these look two totally different. This has a fixed housing. It should be the same, but we're going to check. I don't really like that. This really needs to be skint clean so that it grounds clean with the with that strap, but the bolt should ground it with the top of the bolt. But if I had some sandpaper, I'd skin that up. I don't have any with me for the grounding aspect, but it is grounded on the block right there, nice and grounded clean. So you see, this is an Amazon one. Okay. Okay. And I don't think that this is going to take any kind of plastic. Maybe the bottom piece. We're just going to test fit it right quick and just see what we need to do. Let's make sure our sling gears look like they'll engage. They will engage right there. I don't like how close my positive wires have to be right here. This is made in Taiwan, probably some kind of generic bull crap. I'm not too fond of that at all. But he said to put it on, and it doesn't utilize the rubber grommets either. I don't like that either, because this being an electric motor, you want to be able to isolate the vibrations of the engine with that rubber. Otherwise, it can cause the brushes to come loose and wear out. So let me do some investigating right quick, and I'll get right back on this video, but I'm not sure about this. All right, so I've done some investigating, and I'm not exactly sure if this is a 100% replacement for this starter, but we'll definitely try it. It's close, but I don't think that it's the same. Let me turn this around. What am I doing? No, it's not. I don't know. It's gonna be damn close. Let's see. I know that they're all aftermarket nowadays, and they try to make one to fit all, and to me that's just the wrong way to do things, because it's not an exact matchup, and you'll wind up eating the flywheel up. You'll kill a starter. I don't know. Let's just be real careful and try to get this bolt in. Let's see if that sling gear will even engage. It will engage right there. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't have boats anymore. Okay, that started. Let's just be real gentle and just kind of tighten it up just a little bit to see where it falls. I did set my ratchet down. Oh my God. Right there, of course. And we're just gonna be real careful. This is an Amazon replacement. We're not gonna torque it tight. We don't want to break anything on the block. I ain't very confident with this yet. Let's check the sling gear clearance here. It looks like the gears are going to mesh, but it's definitely not as good. It's not an OEM fit. I mean, it might be, but I don't know what the hell kind of crap that they've upgraded now, but it's a lot different than what I messed with back in the day. I don't like that crap right there at all. But if it works, I mean, it works, you know. That's the thing. Main thing is we want to make sure that we can secure the base so that we don't break it. We don't break nothing off the bottom of the block. Yeah, because if we go torquing on this thing, you know, we go turn on the starter, and the only thing that's holding it is the top of this block, that'll definitely break it, and we don't want to do that. This was the bottom cradle. This is what held it on the bottom. Huh. And them rubber grommets do not fit. They will not fit. It's a completely different looking starter. Let me see if I can get any bolts to start. I don't like this design. I never went with Amazon parts on my stuff. Whenever I had a boat, I always went with the OEM. It was a little bit more expensive, but I found that you didn't have these kind of problems. I mean, I'm not saying this is a problem. It probably worked just fine, but it might be like a revised design. But I'd rather have that plastic grommet in there to absorb shock for that electric motor. Interesting. Why does that work? It works. My personal opinion, though, if it was mine, I wouldn't be very happy. I would not want aluminum on aluminum. I would want, especially it being an electric motor, I would want it to free float in that, in that grommet. But it does bolt up, and that sling gear is not clearing. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's just test. Let's see if we can get gear mesh. Right there we have perfect gear mesh. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work just fine. Now this is aluminum, so you just want to don't over tighten it. I'd rather have to come back every time I go to the lake and just barely tighten it if I had to, or once a year, than I would be trying to fight something that I've stripped out. Because I'm telling you, if you do it, ooh, it's not good. That thing is in there solid. It must be some kind of revised design. Barely tighten. Barely tighten. Stainless steel and aluminum. Don't go crazy. Okay. So there's our power wire. And maybe, just maybe, See, I don't like how this is clocked different. I know that this starter is probably made for several different models. That's probably why it's built the way that it is. It's not necessarily for this particular boat. It probably works for probably 20 different other setups, which is one thing that I don't like about buying parts from Amazon, which I'm not knocking Amazon. I mean, if it works, it's going to work. But my question is how long? I mean, if it works 5 years and it's paid for itself. Hell, if it works 1 year, it's paid for itself. And always on the power wire, I don't have another wrench to put on the back of it, so I'm just going to barely tighten it until I can get some wrenches, because you want to hold the back side of that nut. Some skinny wrenches, you want to hold the back side of that bolt. Otherwise, it'll spin out inside there, and you'll actually break the power source to the motor, or to the starting motor. That's tight enough for what it is. That ground strap, I'm not sure this was to the motor to that, but I think that this motor might be internally grounded. So I'm gonna play with it for a minute, see if it's good. If it's good, then I guess it's good. All right, so I played with it for just a minute and checked all my clearances. I will wind up putting a little bit of grease on this, just to, because, you know, that way your gear engagement is a lot smoother. And I want to turn the boat over. We're not going to crank it because we're not on water, and we're going to put a water pump on it anyways soon. So I'm just going to cut the kill switch off, turn the engine over, and see if it will turn. So let's try it. Kill switch is out. That should work. That should work. Well, it'll really help it to get some grease on there, just to help with friction stuff. But I mean, I might have talked crap about the starter, but I mean, if it works, it works. You know, I mean, I don't know how much he paid for it, but I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than an OEM. So you guys are watching the Palmetto Outdoor Experience. If this video helped you, please make sure to like and subscribe. We'll have some more videos of this boat. This is a Ranger it's a 375V. So you guys have a great day. God bless you. Thank you.